Hi guys, I'm Christian. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, it's great to see you. So after uploading my stats video, one of the questions I've been getting asked the most in the comments, DMs, emails, if you're emailing me, you're really going for it, kudos to you. But it's about activities. How did I find activities? How did I find honors? And like, how did these opportunities, how did I get them? Because I think that's something that's not really talked about a lot. And so I'm super excited to be making this video. That's what this is all going to be about. I think activities are the most fun part of the college application process. And hopefully this video will give you some ideas on how you can start cultivating your own resumes, start finding your own activities, and creating your own life outside of just academics. And so if you want to hear more about how I did it and how you can too, then just keep on watching. So starting off, I think the most important things to keep in mind in regards to activities are the 3 L's. And I think I'm already gonna give you 3 L's, so then you won't have to get into yourself. You can get a dub. Thank you. I know that was really clever. I'm pretty proud of it. So the first L that I think is important to keep in mind is love. And so your activity should be something that you're really passionate about. It should be something that you really enjoy doing and something that really makes you excited. And like you're waking up in the morning like, yes, I get to go do this thing. Like I know for me, especially like with theater my senior year, knowing that I had like theater at the end of the day really was helping me get through these school days. And so whatever that is for you, whatever you love about, whatever you're passionate about, that should be what your activities should stem from. If you're involved in something that you don't enjoy, that's not only going to make you miserable, but that's definitely going to show through your application, because admissions officers have seen it all before and they can tell when you're just doing something for it to be on a resume, and that's not a good look. So make sure that you love what you're doing. Second L is leadership. So leadership is kind of a word that's definitely thrown around a lot, I would say, but I think there are kind of like 2 general types of leadership, especially like in the lens of college admissions. And so like the first one would be just like office positions or like actual named leadership roles, like I am the senior class president, or like I am the choir president, or the historian of International Thespian Society. And like those are all officer positions. Those are like an actual named leadership role that I was elected to or I was given. And so that's fine, that's great. That's like an easy way to have leadership, because you actually have a role, you have duties, you have things kind of set in place already for you that you just step into. But the other type of leadership that I think a lot of people overlook is just like kind of more the behind the scenes things, so like things that you're doing that everyone's not doing. So like if you are, I'll use those same 3 activities. So for student activities, I have always had like an officer position, but even if you don't have an officer position, you can still take a really active role in student government. Like you lead a service project, or you lead a spirit week, or you are creating promotional materials. Like all of those things are leadership roles and things that you should definitely be seeking out and finding, because it's important to make an impact on the spaces that you're occupying. And like it's okay if you're like just a participant in like maybe 1 or 2 things, but you don't want to be just a participant in the majority of your activities. You want to have some sort of you want to make some sort of impact on the spaces that you're occupying, to show that you not only are passionate about them, but you're taking ownership of them, and you're actually like putting your own little mark on those activities. So leadership is important. The third L is longevity. So, and I put these like kind of in order also, not only of like, I put them in order of importance. So I think loving something first is like the most important thing. Then having some sort of leadership role is also super duper important. And then longevity I put last, because there's definitely like exceptions to this rule. So like my biggest activity I would say was the Girls United program. And I didn't join that, or I didn't become involved with that until my junior year of high school. And so exceptions certainly do exist, but for the majority of activities, I would highly recommend getting involved as early as possible. Freshman year is ideal. So if you can have multiple years of participation in an activity, that's not only allowing you the room to grow over the years, like so growing leadership roles, growing whatever it may be, but it's also showing admissions officers and showing colleges that you're someone who's dedicated and you're committed, and that you are willing to like persevere and put forth an effort that other people who aren't doing activities for multiple years are not willing to put forth. And so longevity is important. Love, leadership, longevity, keep those in mind as you're picking your activities. Next, how did I find activities? Where are places you can look for to find activities, to find different opportunities that will give you things to write about for essays, give you things to build your resume, which I don't really want to say because it shouldn't be about building a resume. It should be just about building a better you. There we go. It should be about becoming a better person and enriching your life, not about some bullet points. So there, that's what we're gonna say. So the first place I would recommend looking for is just like in your school. Your school should offer some sort of extracurricular, whether that's like through clubs, through sports. Your guidance counselor may like post different opportunities on their websites or like on their like bulletin board, if they have like a bulletin board where they post things. I think looking in your school is like the easiest thing. That's definitely where I started out freshman year, just looking for flyers on like different clubs that were having meetings. And of course you're limited because like your school, so for example, like for my school, Future Business Leaders of America was definitely the most developed pre-professional organization, I guess, or like work-based organization. So there's like Future Business Leaders of America, there's Health Occupation Students of America, there's also DECA, Skills USA, but at my school, FBLA was the one that was like the biggest, and so that's kind of how I just naturally fell into it. But at your school, it may be something different, and so your school's activities are definitely like, you're limited to what your school offers, but you're actually not limited to what your school offers because you can create anything you want. Creating clubs is like a really cool thing, and if there's an organization that your school doesn't have that you want to bring to your school, you can get a group of people together, get an advisor or a sponsor from like a teacher or an administrator or staff member, geez Louise, at your school. And if there's something that you want to do that's not there, start it. Your school is the first place that I would recommend looking for activities because it's like right there, like you're going to school anyway, so you might as well do stuff while you're at school. The next place that I recommend looking is in your community. You can go to your local newspapers if you like want to be a writer or have your own like column in the newspaper. I know a kid who does that, and that's cool. You can definitely look at like your public library system. I've definitely done a lot of like volunteering and programming through public libraries. That has helped me out a lot, and I would highly recommend looking through there. You can also do like Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts, which is like a community-based thing because unless it may be attached to a school, but I think most times they're like separate from schools. You can also look at like jobs. I think some people may forget that like employment is a type of extracurricular, and so if you work a job or if you like have to work a job for like family responsibilities and things of that nature, don't like think you're not doing anything. Like that definitely counts as an extracurricular, as an activity that shows dedication, that shows commitment, teamwork, all the things. Also, along in that same kind of similar vein, your family responsibilities count as activities too. So in your community, if you are taking care of your family members or if you are watching your siblings a lot and that kind of prevents you from being able to do things like at your school all the time, that's okay, that's fine, that's your life, that's your story, and that's shows a lot of other skills that you could get from joining clubs at school. So if you have that situation, please include that on your common application because that kind of shows the same exact thing that a traditional activity would show, and that's still there's something to say for that. So include family responsibilities or employment if that is something that you have in your life. The next place that you can look, especially for summer programs and also for research, if you're like a STEM type person and you want to do research with a professor, is your local colleges and universities and also like your state schools. So that's where I found a lot of my summer programs. Almost all of my summer programs were through a college or a university in my area, but I use that kind of loosely because like I've gone like maybe 3 or 4 hours away from my house to do summer programs. But you don't have to go like super duper far to find these programs. Like you don't have to go to an Ivy League school or like a top 20 school to find summer programs. And I think it's honestly probably more accessible if you do stay in your area. And so go on the college's websites that are like near you, search up like summer programs. Like for me, I'm South Carolina, so like summer programs, University of South Carolina, see what comes up, see if anything interests you. A lot of them probably will cost money, but you can find scholarships. You can email like the directors of the summer programs, explain your situation if you do need financial aid, and they'll probably be more than willing to like work something out with you. And so don't give up. It definitely takes a lot of initiative on your part to like reach out, but I would highly recommend looking at colleges, looking at universities for programs during the summer. And then also, if you want to do research with a professor, you can go to the same colleges and go to the same universities, kind of dive through their websites and like whatever department you're interested in, kind of see what research different professors are doing, and then educate yourself on them, and then reach out to those professors, reach out to those scientists, engineers, whatever the situation may be, and just kind of tell them who you are and why you're passionate about the research and why you would like to join their team. You may have to reach out to a couple of people before you get a yes, but that process of finding different opportunities will definitely help you when you're going into college, and it only takes takes one yes to get an opportunity. So don't give up, keep trying, and that's all I have to say about that. Also, check out your governor's schools in like your different states. So this is specific to domestic students, but most states have like a governor's school, and if you don't attend the governor's school, you still can go there for programs during the summer. And so that's also another good place to check out for summer programs. So another resource that I used to find activities was my mom and just like connections I made with people. So I would highly recommend making connections with your teachers, with your faculty and staff members at your school, because people will remember you if you are a kind person. If you are really motivated, they can pick up on that, and if they hear about opportunities, they will send them your way. So connections are super duper important, and obviously you shouldn't be making connections just to get something out of the deal, but it is important to have those bonds with people that they can then think of you when an opportunity or something of the sorts comes up. The last kind of way to find activities or find things that are a little bit more unconventional is to like research different companies that you really admire, or companies that you kind of know like fall along the same kind of vein of things you're interested in, and just kind of keep your eye out, follow them on social media, look at their websites. Like for example, the company I worked with was Essence, and I have been following Essence since I like came out the womb, probably with my mom. But there are also other companies like Teen Vogue. I know they have a lot of opportunities for high school students. Google different engineering firms, different law firms, just kind of always researching, always keeping your eyes out and ears open for opportunities is another good way to kind of find those things that may be a little bit more unconventional than just like a school club. And yeah, that's that on that. My biggest thing, and I think kind of maybe what people were alluding to when they were asking me how I found activities, are programs that will actually support you and give you a lot of resources and give you a lot of like, hey, apply for this, hey, apply for that. They will like give you all that, and you're probably like, Kristian, what are these programs? Like, this sounds amazing. I know, they are amazing. And I'm talking about CBOs, or community-based organizations, and these are programs that are free. They're nonprofits, and they are created to increase diversity at higher institute. They are created to increase diversity in colleges and universities. I don't even know where I was trying to go with that. But a lot of them are aimed at students who are underrepresented in higher institutions right now. So that may be like because of you're an ethnic minority, you are a first generation student, or you're like a low income student, or a combination of any of those three. And so the community-based organization that I was involved with, it was called the Ron Brown Guided Pathway Support Program, or GPS, and I'm currently still involved with that. And it's for juniors and seniors, African American juniors and seniors, and the admissions are rolling, so I'll put the link down below. But this program has definitely helped me out a lot by giving me a lot of resources. They have advisors that will help you with editing essays. They give you a lot of information like when fly-ins start happening, like they'll send out information about that, and it's just a really cool community of people. But if you do not meet the qualifications for GPS, there are a lot of other programs. So now I'm going to look down and read, because this is where all my things are. So we have Questbridge College Prep Scholars, which is another similar program. You apply as a junior, and the application is actually still open right now. It closes on April 21st, and so I would definitely recommend checking that out if you are a junior and applying. It is a wonderful program. I personally was not a part of it, but I have heard a lot of great things about it. I know a lot of people who were, and so it's great, amazing. Definitely check that out. The application is still open. Well, it closes April 21st, 2020, so if you're watching this and it's after that date, then it's closed. But if you are an underclassman, keep it in mind for the upcoming years. That's some other programs I'm just gonna like throw out. Matriculate, which is another like virtual college advising service, and it is aimed at high achieving low income students, and you apply as a junior, and the application is currently open, so I'll put that link in the bio as well. Leda Scholars and Hamilton Scholars, which are two similar kind of programs to help with college advising and resources and opportunities and all of that stuff, and you apply to both of those in the fall of your junior year. So the applications are currently closed right now, but if you are an underclassman, definitely keep them on your radar for when it's your fall of junior year. And there's also Posse, which you also apply to as a junior, and they have offices in 10 major cities. So if you live near those cities, then you can apply for like those scholarships and those programs. So definitely Google that and kind to see if you are eligible. Another community-based organization, which I know is pretty big because it's federally funded, is Upward Bound, and that is pretty similar to all the other ones. Like, it gives you resources, it gives you guidance, and they help you along your college application journey. And so I would highly recommend Googling like Upward Bound, whatever city you live in, to see if there's a chapter in your area and see if you are eligible to join, because I think having a community really helps on your college experience, and it definitely helps find activities, because not only is the program an activity, but you also are finding resources and finding new opportunities through that program, which is really, really great. Now I'm going to give examples of different activities that you can be involved in high school, and by no means are these all-encompassing, because it's actually impossible for me to give you every single activity you could possibly be involved in, because there are no limits, there are no bounds to what you can do in high school if there's not something you can create in. But I'm going to go down this list of tons of things to give you some ideas, and maybe one of them will interest you and you can kind of research it, and then that will be something, a new opportunity for you. So first example of activities are hobbies. So like if you like computer science and you code, or you like to fix cars, or you like to bake, or you collect things, those are all considered activities. You can write a blog, you can start a YouTube channel, you can be involved with student government, you can join a kind of work-based professional organization such as FBLA, Health Occupation Students of America, or HOSA, DECA, Skills USA. You can be involved through civic engagement efforts, so like doing internships at your local lawmakers or policymakers offices. You can also work on different political campaigns. A lot of teenagers I know do that, and that's also a really great way to not only get involved like as a high school student, but just get involved as a citizen and to show that you are supporting a candidate and you are actively working through the political process is pretty impressive. You can also work on like a mayor's youth council if you have those in your area, so definitely research those. You can do text baking. My friend did that, and you can do that from your own home. So if you have any candidate that you want to support, you can campaign for them, but you do it through your phone. So like you just text people, and that is how you can volunteer and also be civically involved. And you can also do social advocacy work, starting March for Your Lives, like marches, or doing like women's marches. All of those things are really cool ways to be involved and also give back to your communities. You can be involved in sports, varsity sports, club sports, cultural groups, so like gay straight alliances, Black Student Alliance, Hispanic Students Association, anything like that. We had a cultural appreciation club in my school, and I did a lot of work through that. Independent research, if there's something that really fascinates you and you want to learn more about it, then you can do research on that on your own, write a paper about it, and then on your college application you can say, hey, I did research on this topic that I found really interesting, and I did it all by myself because I just wanted to do it. And that's a really cool activity. Different mentorship programs, so I already listed like community-based organizations, but you also can look out through different Divine Nine Greek organizations in your area. If you are a African American high schooler, those are kind of like a nationwide thing, so definitely just Google like Divine Nine mentorship program and then like your city, and something should come up from that. The fine arts, so singing, choir, you can play an instrument, you can do theater, you can draw, visual arts, you can do dance. You can also do things like through religious organizations or through like your place of worship. And so like I know if you usher at your church, or if you like lead a youth group, all of those things show a lot of initiative and also kind of show a piece of yourself, because like that's your religion, your faith. And so those are definitely things you can also be involved in. You can also join 4-H programs, science and math Olympiads, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, pageantry. And there's also like first robotics competitions, speech and debate, Model United Nations. You can look into the MIT Office of Engineering Outreach Programs. I have a friend who did a lot of work with them throughout high school, and I think they offer a lot of cool things. So like if engineering is your thing, definitely hit them up. You can also do Girl State or Boy State. So that's something that I did during high school. I mentioned that in my stats video. It was a summer program I was involved with. They have one in every, like all the 50 states. You apply your junior year to do it this summer going into your senior year. I absolutely loved Girl State. I would highly recommend anyone doing it. Definitely reach out to your JROTC officials at your school, or also just like your principal or guidance counselor, to see how you can get involved with Girl State in your specific state, or Boy State if you're a boy. You also can do these things called Do Something campaigns, and so I will link them down below, but I think Do Something is a really, really great way to get involved and to give back through really creative methods. And so I did a campaign personally in my school. It was like a Stop Bullying campaign, and I just like printed out these like little tear-off sheets, put them on bulletin boards, and like took pictures, and all of them you like enter into a scholarship. And I didn't actually get the scholarship, but I got a feature in their newsletter, which is pretty cool. You can do them at like as small or large of a scale as you want. That's another great way to give back to the community while also working on a cause that you may be passionate about, and also showing that you're taking initiative by finding these opportunities that aren't sponsored by your school. It's just something you found yourself and you implemented, which I think is really impressive. So one thing someone actually did tell me that I'm glad they told me was to keep like a journal, and they call it like a brag journal, where you just write down everything that you do from 9th grade to senior year. That will help you a lot. If it's like, and it doesn't actually have to be a physical journal if you don't want it to be. It can be like a document on like your computer, it can be notes on your phone, but you just need to have some place where you are writing down every activity, service, hours, every summer program, every single thing that you're doing. You want to write that down somewhere, because come senior year, when you actually are having to do your common application activities list and start doing like scholarship applications and all that stuff, you are going to forget everything that you've done. And so it will be way easier, and you will love yourself if you have been writing it down. It will make everything a lot smoother. So keep a brag journal of everything that you're doing. That is like my number one activities tip. Now, things I wish someone would have told me. The first thing is to just do things that you love, and don't do something because you want to look good for colleges or you want to boost your resume or anything like that. I kind of had that mentality when I was like a freshman. I thought I did things that I did enjoy, but some of them I kind of probably wouldn't have continued to do if I knew that I didn't have to do them. Like if I knew that colleges weren't expecting me to do them. And so I think if you just kind of go into high school with that mentality, or you go into your sophomore year or go into your junior year with that mentality of just doing what you want to do and doing things that you enjoy, you will be much better off, and it will just go better for you. My second tip is to try things outside of your comfort zone. My mom, she made me do this like robotics camp, and I am not a STEM person at all, and I was so bad at that robotics camp. I did it like 3 summers, and I was so bad every single summer. I never improved. And even though I was pretty terrible at making robots, I still had a really cool experience, and I learned some other things from that. And so if whatever your robot is, for me it was literally making robots, but whatever it may be, don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone and try something new, because something beautiful can come from that. My last tip is to start something of your own. I did not really know that going into high school, and I didn't really figure it out until this year, now that I've been meeting a lot of other students who are like getting into Ivy League schools, or like other students from like Flyence and things of that nature. A lot of people have like their own nonprofits, or they have their own mentorship program, they have their own YouTube channel, they have their own blog, company, whatever it may be. And having something of your own is really powerful, because it's not attached to any structure or institution. It's something you saw a problem, or you saw something that you wanted to do, and you created it yourself. And I think that speaks volumes, and something I would highly recommend doing. And I personally did not, well, I have a YouTube channel now, but I did not like have a nonprofit or anything like that, and so I can't really speak on that, but I could definitely connect you to some people who I know who have, if you're interested in that. And I think that that's definitely a really great activity or extracurricular to have on your resume, something that you created and something that's solely from you, because you are you, and so that's what colleges want to see. Tips for current juniors. So if you've watched this video and you're a junior and you're going into senior year and you're like,
oh my god, Christian, I did not do any of this stuff. What am I going to do? I don't know what I'm going to do. How am I going to put my applications? I don't have enough time.
do not stress out. Breathe. You're good. You're fine. You have probably done a lot more than you think you have, and the college application process was a huge time of self-reflection for me. And as you start looking back on everything that you've done, pick out those things that are meaningful. Pick out those things that may seem small, but when you actually write them out, or when you actually look at like the huge picture, you realize you've actually done a lot of meaningful work. Also, brainstorm ways that you can kind of elevate your extracurriculars or elevate your hobbies starting now throughout the summer, through those first few months of senior year. There's still time. There's still time. There's still ways that you can contribute to your communities. There's still ways that you can build whatever hobbies or whatever extracurriculars you've been involved with thus far. And so kind of brainstorm some ways that you can do that to prepare for when you actually are like doing your common application and stuff. And then also another tip for juniors, to start researching fly-in programs. So fly-in programs are when colleges will fly you out to visit their institution. You get to like stay over with like a student, like a host. You get to visit classes, do a lot of activities, meet kids from across the country. I'll make a video about fly-in programs. I have 2 vlogs from the fly-in programs that I did, and that's something else that I would really recommend doing in regards to like activities or honors that you can start looking at and researching now. That is all I have to say about activities, finding activities, how to build your, nope, not resume, how to become a better you. There we go. And so I hope that this video answered a lot of your questions that you may have had on that topic. If not, leave any questions you have down below. Make sure to follow me on social media. I'm going to be doing like a Q&A thing kind of soon. So if you follow me on Instagram, you'll be able to respond to the poll. My next video will definitely be either in my essay advice video or my college commitment video, depending on some things that I have to figure out. But stay tuned for both of those at some point because they'll both be coming eventually. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.